McKays. We are staying in Dubai as we begin our adventure of traveling with our niece to 100 islands. However,
we still don't have a boat.
So we are headed to the World Expo, and when I hear about it, all I think of is things like the Crystal Palace of Prince Albert, or the World's Fair where Nikola Tesla lit up the world with his electricity. And so this is really exciting to me. I feel very historic.
Whole thing that looks like a city is the expo. I know. I have a whole lot of errands to run.
So I'm gonna take 5 boys alone to a World Expo. I'm a little intimidated, I won't lie, but I am Superwoman and this is gonna be great, right?
Sure.
Yeah. After a couple of hours, you'll join us, right?
Yes.
Right?
Right.
Right. Say bye to Dad. We're gonna go. All the kids are getting in for free, and I'm only costing 50 Arab Emirates dirham or whatever they're called. Tesla, Tesla, Tesla.
It's another nether portal.
Yeah. Okay, boys, where do you want to go first?
Canada, Canada, Canada.
So they're calling this Expo 2020 because it was planned in 2020, of course, then the pandemic hit. And so then they didn't want to change all their marketing and all the posters and everything. And so they just left it to be Expo 2020, even though it's 2022. We weren't sure what to expect at the expo, but what we found was an outstanding display of the entire world found in one place. A new city built to display cultures and accomplishments from around the globe. Over 190 countries each had their own pavilion, which usually was a unique building with out-of-this-world architecture and exhibits. So let us show you what some countries had to display.
Pakistan!
Bahrain! Indonesia! Monaco!
Are you coding your little box?
I'm a crawling.
Baden-Württemberg. Baden-Württemberg. Baden-Württemberg?
Great Britain!
The United Kingdom! Hungary!
Visitor Center 6.
Thailand! Kuwait!
I think there's so many good things about these pavilions. Like with Kuwait, I just grew up learning nothing but war about Kuwait. So it's just good to see them sharing their culture. Each country would stamp your Expo passport as part of your visit.
Yay, thank you! Luxembourg!
Meow. Cape Town. Angola.
Finally, Dustin is done with his business and can join us. Woohoo! Not only did the expo represent countries, it also represented ideas.
So over here in Expo we have the main three pavilions, of course, which is our three topics: the opportunity, mobility, and opportunity. And right now you are in the sustainability. So please enjoy the journey.
Is that really under the ground?
This pavilion was designed so that it can catch rainfall, and they're not getting rid of it after. Like, this is designed to actually catch rainfall for these people that are going to live here eventually.
So I think this is one of the most intelligent displays I've ever seen. On the one hand, it says industry is killing the planet. On the other hand, it says regulation is killing business. And what they're trying to say is that somewhere in the middle is how we move forward as a species. We need industry, we need gas, we need refrigerators, we need forest products, we need all of those things. But on the other hand, we also need to protect the planet, and too many rules can stop businesses from progressing. And so somewhere in the middle. Anyhow, they're just trying to show that, like, it's not somebody who says, oh, it's all one thing or all another is usually wrong. It's usually some sort of compromise between the different positions that bring us forward. You know, I think it's intelligent.
You have to work together to do it. Funny story, so we went to the sustainability pavilion and we thought it was great. But everybody has said, oh, this is like my favorite ever. And we're like, okay. But then we realized when we went back, because we liked it so much we went back, that we hadn't been to the basement.
I'm glad we're not missing this.
Yeah? Fireflies everywhere. At the sustainability place, they have an under the forest station and an under the ocean station, and they show how, like, both places you need to take care of and how we're not really taking care of them. And then also, like, what happens when our oceans and forests are contaminated.
Opportunity Pavilion.
The world is turned upside down. So this is how you're going to change the world, right?
Yeah.
This is his pledge. Robot ants that get material for food.
Mobility Pavilion. I told you they were giant.
This has been sensory overload. There is so much to see, so much to do. It's crazy.
So it's practically every country bragging that they're way better than each other.
Hey, I want to go to Slovenia, okay? Let's go to Slovenia.
Slovenia!
Out of all the pavilions I've gone to, this one makes me actually want to go to the country, Slovenia. It was very effective.
Lithuania. Sweden, it's sweet. Portugal, I can't say it right.
Welcome to Australia! New Zealand! Black, almost like the All Blacks.
What's your favorite pavilion so far?
Oh yeah.
Switzerland! Literally, the only way we know where we're going is because of the lights. Chocolate from Switzerland. Venezuela! There were also pavilions at the expo that were dedicated to things other than countries. Women! Seriously, it's a whole pavilion just about women. This is not even a country, but I've heard it's pretty good.
This whole pavilion is just one big advertisement.
Just like them.
Yeah, I loved it.
After being here just for a few minutes, you start to wonder, what is going to happen after the expo is over to all these amazing buildings? And then after you've been here for a few hours, you're like, what's going to happen to all these amazing buildings? Because there's a lot of them, and they're very amazing. I think I've discovered what they're doing with all of this. They're going to make a new neighborhood. It's going to be called the Expo District. And there's going to be residential houses and office buildings all dedicated to helping have a better planet. So for you really observant people, yes, we are wearing a lot of different clothes here at the expo. That's because you can't possibly, not even if you are running, do the expo in one day. The World Expo was open for 6 months, and we were there for one of those months. We went fairly often, but still didn't get to see half of what was there. But we did see what was most important to us, including seeing our friend from Vanuatu. Right before we came to Dubai, we found out that Camilla was here at the World Expo. She's in our ward, our church congregation. We knew her, and it's in Dubai. How random is that? That's so cool. Yeah, it is. Besides Vanuatu, there were other countries that we knew we couldn't miss.
We're about to enter the Canadian Pavilion, and the thing about the Canadian Pavilion is anybody could be working at the Canadian Pavilion because, they could be Filipino, they could be Indian, they could be Chinese. That's what Canada looks like.
United States of America! So far, this is the only pavilion that has a walkway. I find that kind of ironic, like Americans are the only ones that are too lazy to walk around their own pavilion. This guy, do you know who that is?
Oh my god.
He's the creator of the Apple, the iPhone. Do you like him?
Yeah, I like Apple.
Look, people, it's Utah! Utah!
I'm touching a piece of the moon. I'm touching a piece of the moon.
Ukraine. Most countries are flexing and trying to show like how amazing their country is, and like with all these flashy things. And with Ukraine's, it's just full of post-it notes of other people encouraging them or hoping that the war will stop. A couple of weeks ago, and just a few days before that they had gotten permission to put these sticky notes up, because before then it was against the Expo regulations to put sticky notes everywhere. But people kept on asking, what can we do? We want to show our support. And so they got permission to do these sticky notes just a few days before the first time that we came. That was 2 weeks ago, and half of the building was already full. Now, 2 weeks later, there is like no empty space in this building. It's crazy. We have been to probably like 100, it feels like 100 countries here. But out of all the countries that Abraham wanted to visit today, what did you say?
Ukraine.
Where did you want to go?
Ukraine.
This is his favorite country. And he wants to see and write more to Ukraine.
Like sticky notes on sticky notes? Do you just have like an entire first sticky
Layers and layers of sticky notes. It's not just one layer. On our last day at the expo, there was still one pavilion that we hadn't been to. Dubai's own United Arab Emirates Pavilion.
UAE!
Why did we wait till the last day to go to the UAE? So every time we thought of going to the UAE, we looked at the line, we're like, oh, the line's too long. Someday the line will be shorter when we pass by, and it never has been. And now, on our last day, the line is longer than ever, but I am stubborn and I want to go. Dustin didn't wait in line the whole time. He spent some of the time procuring chocolate from across the expo.
Different Espirito Santo, but
What? That's confusing now.
this
Okay,
is very good chocolate.
Where's it from?
Brazil. Do you guys want some chocolate from Brazil?
Finally, after how long has it been, hon? 3 hours.
It's
actually been 3.5 hours because we were there.
3.5 hours. We are in. Just because we're inside doesn't mean that the waiting ends, but now they have a restaurant.
Well, you can each try some.
Thank you. So this was just ice cream and a brownie, I thought, but it turned into a hairy snowman. Isn't it cute?
Everybody can have a little bit of ice cream if they've tried some of it.
Okay, what do you think? Is it so yummy? Because the UAE pavilion was surrounded by water and the expo had meant so much to my kids, they told me that this counted as one of our islands.
they have sayings here like 50 years ago this was just a dream, and all coming together to realize a dream. And it's true. You feel like the culture of Dubai is the culture of globalization and purpose and accomplishing dreams. It's really cool.
Wow, it's done.
That was it.
Get the stamp. Mama, you have to get the stamp. Oh, you better.
Oh yeah, we better get the stamp. We waited all day long for that.
Where's the person? We need the
Well,
stamp.
it was a good pavilion.
Stamp. It was a good one. It wasn't a great one. Sorry, I'm doing this.
All right, so maybe that pavilion wasn't worth it, but standing in line was kind of cool because we got to meet people, including a Ukrainian refugee, and she explained so much about what's going on in Ukraine, including how her sister who was pregnant lost her baby, and how she doesn't know if she'll ever be able to go home again, how her whole place is being bombed, and how they're even bombing primary schools. It was really eye-opening, and I guess I learned from standing in line for like 3 to 4 hours.
The World Expo was full of spectacles, fanciful creations, and culturally significant wonders that I'm so grateful my family was able to experience. We will never forget the Dubai World Expo 2020.
Like and subscribe.